Wow. Okay, there is a lot to unpack here, so let's get into it. First of all, a letter got sent out to people in District 20, which is Indiana House Representative or Indiana State Rep District 20. That is LaPorte and Stark County. I think that's it. I actually haven't looked at the exact borders, but it's my state rep. So I did not receive a letter. However, many people in the area did. What is the letter? The letter is it's called a spouse letter, and it's a letter that the spouse writes to tell people about their husband, wife running for office, right? They're pretty common. They happen all the time. So why is this a big deal? Because this particular letter, at some point, a mistake was made and two different letters were included in the same envelope. One page was from one candidate. The other page was for another candidate. It's a big deal, guys. It doesn't look good. Now, the individual in question is my state rep, Jim Pressel. He's running for re-election in the primary. And people they've been posting about this all day. Let me get into this. First of all, let me show you guys the letter that I got, or sent to me. Let's see here. Okay, so that's the actual letter. Okay, so here is what people. Now, remember, this letter was allegedly from Becky Pressel, wife of Jim Pressel. Here is what people got in their mail. Dear friend, when your husband runs for office, people often see only a small part of the man you know so well. They see someone making tough decisions and speaking on important issues. What they don't always see is the heart behind that man. And my husband, Randy Retter, I don't know how you say his name, is the father, leader, and steady presence my family and yours can count on. This year, Randy and I will celebrate 35 years of marriage. Over those years, I've had the privilege of watching the kind of man he truly is, not just in the big moments, but in the quiet, everyday ones that define a person's character. We have a daughter who grew up seeing firsthand what it means to put family first. Even after long days at work, he always made time for her. He never missed her after-school events, always showing up, always present. No matter how busy life became, she knew she could count on him. During one of the most difficult seasons of our lives, when I was getting through cancer treatments, Randy was by my side every step of the way. He never missed a single appointment. He was my strength when I needed it most, steady and unwavering through it all. So by this point, as someone who knows Randy is not the name of Becky's husband, I am genuinely confused. Like, what the heck's going on? You get to page 2. Same letter. Today, I also get to watch him as a grandpa. We're fortunate our daughter, Kristen, and our son-in-law live close by with our 3 grandkids. The oldest, Ashlyn, is in high school and is excited about starting driver training. She loves staying at our house and driving our Kubota with Jim as a co-pilot. Maybe he should be the one to brave teaching her how to drive on the road. Our granddaughter, Brindley, is our middle school tomboy who loves to come to our house and catch tadpoles, frogs, salamanders, and occasionally a snake. If you know Jim, he is not fond of snakes, so that's always interesting. The youngest, Jackson, is all boy. Jim couldn't wait until he was old enough to play with Tonka trucks and toys from when he was a kid. For hours, they'd be in the gravel driveway building roads and loading and unloading trucks. All 3 kids are in sports, so for us, cheering for the grandkids is a year-round event, but we wouldn't have it any other way. We love watching and cheering from the sidelines. I appreciate you letting me take the time to share more about the man who serves as our state representative. Jim is a giver. He gives his time and care to his family, friends, and his community without hesitation. I know he'll continue to work hard for our community and hope you will join me in voting for my husband, Jim Pressel, on or before May 5th. Best regards, Becky Pressel. So you've got page 1 from somebody named Randy Retter, and page 2 regarding Jim Pressel. So I posted, I'm like, okay, who is this person? What is going on? And Becky Pressel actually reached out to me and said, I'm happy to send you the letter. A mistake was made. I said, yes, please. So she sent me the letter. Here is what page 1 should have been. Now, I did send her a request for additional information so that she could explain how this happened and everything. I will check my email here in a moment, but let me read you what the letter should have said on page 1. Dear friends, my name is Becky Pressel, and I'd like to tell you a little bit about myself and my family. When your husband runs for office, people hear a lot about policy and politics. They don't get to hear about the sacrifices he's made for our family or how hard we have worked to build a better life for our kids. They don't get to hear about him as a grandfather, definitely his favorite title. I'm going to pause here just for a second and say, I've seen him with his grandkids. He's a doting grandfather. I've mentioned that in the past. Back to the letter. Jim grew up on a farm in LaPorte County. His parents taught him the value of a hard day's work, and that lesson still defines who he is today. Jim and I were high school sweethearts. We graduated from LaPorte High School in 1981, got married a year later, and soon started our family. To provide for us, Jim became an over-the-road truck driver. It was hard for him to be on the road, especially with our kids so young. In 1992, the company he worked for moved to Mexico. Jim had experience framing houses and always had a passion for working with his hands. So we decided to start our own construction company. Jim built our small business with long, hard hours on home sites during those early years. Today, Pressel Enterprises is over 30 years old, and our son Jimmy has followed in our footsteps. Watching Jim and Jimmy work together and learn from one another has been one of the best things about watching Jim as a dad. And then on to page 2, if you guys want to rewind, you can. Now, here's part of the problem. The same day that this mistake came out and posts were made by people talking about this letter, and people are jumping to very wild assumptions. People are really reacting negatively to the mistake that was made here. And it absolutely, there was a mistake. There was a mistake here. Somehow, some way, 2 different candidate letters got put together. Now, I have my assumptions about how this happened, but I'm waiting to hear from Becky to see if she's going to address it. On the same day this happened, an individual who's hiding behind a fake profile is out here bashing the appearance of the other candidate, a female candidate, his Jim Pressel's opponent in the primary. It's on the LaPorte County News Group, and it's some individual named Gertrude, without an E, McGillicuddy, an obviously fake profile. We will take a look at it, just so you know. Member since May 2nd, 2026. If we actually go to the profile itself, March 25th, there's nothing here. It's an obvious, instead of just posting anonymously, they made a ridiculous profile. Obviously fake. But they proceed to attack her appearance, which is interesting given the optics of the mailer that went out from the Pressel campaign, alluding to the same thing. It's concerning. Look, guys, I don't, because I don't give a shit what people say about my appearance, but women in particular filter photos, dude. Like, have you seen the fucking big ass billboard on Highway 35 and Johnson Road coming into LaPorte? Connie doesn't look anything like that. Let's be real here. Let's stop, guys. The comments are like absolutely vile. Whoever this idiot is, they're on there just completely bashing anyone and everyone, trying to stick up. If you guys want to go read it, knock yourselves out. I'm not even gonna give it the time of day, because it's vile. It's attacking someone's appearance because they took a couple of minutes and made themselves look a little better before they posted photos on social media is some of the most ridiculous crap I've ever heard. as far as this whole letter thing, I'm going to check my email right now just to see if they addressed it. Yeah, I haven't gotten anything. If I do get a response, I will update with that response, but it's not a good look. And I'm going to tell you guys, you see the hat I'm wearing, very pro 2A, very pro Constitution, the entirety of it. If you just look at some of the history of the current state rep, he only became in favor of constitutional carry and certain other things when it was politically expedient to do so, in my opinion. I've had conversations with him back from 2020 and 2022 when constitutional carry was on the books, or excuse me, being proposed here in Indiana, and he was against it. So I don't know what changed. People can draw their own conclusions, but the important thing, in my opinion, right now is money. Guys, NIPSCO, the road, the freaking gas tax, gas prices are astronomical. I'm not going to pretend like it's not. Like, let me show you a video just so you guys can understand what we're dealing with here in District 20. Let's see here. Here we go. So this is back HB 1461. It's a road funding bill, right? That's being discussed. And Rep Pressel is talking about Marion County, Indianapolis. Here, you know what? I'm just going to let him tell you. Here we go.
They do have significant needs, and I have the second largest geographical county in the state with LaPorte County. We don't have a $688 million a year problem going forward. They do. Indianapolis does. Marion County does. And that's at the low end. They are never going to be able to catch up unless we want to take back roads. If we want to take back 40, put that back under the state's purview, and all of our taxpayers then pay for that. And we have to do something to get the ball rolling. And this is just nibbling at the edges. If you look at some of the residential streets, it's horrendous.
Yes. So some of the residential streets in Indianapolis are horrendous. They're also horrendous here.
Oh, I don't disagree.
It's terrible.
It's just for us to double down to help this community when our own communities are now working on, funding these things on their own, in addition to the typical community crossings. I'm kind of struggling why, to your point, they have a huge problem. They have a huge budget. And so we are rewarding them by giving them extra money, maybe slightly putting them in timeout and saying, use your road dollars to do this. So,
well, yeah, I don't disagree. I struggle with it too. But I mean, if we don't take an initiative, I don't know what else to do. I mean, if somebody's got an idea to figure out how to solve Indianapolis's road funding problem,
is that our problem to solve? I guess that's my concern.
It is our capital.
If they're not well run or well governed, is that our problem to solve?
Nope, no disagreement there.
He says no disagreement there, but yet it is. So it is, or it isn't our problem to solve. Good job on I believe that's Senator Brown. Good job on her calling it out and saying, is the mismanagement of Indy and their terrible road system the problem of the rest of the state? Here we go. There's a little more.
And we can continue to look backwards. All due respect, we can continue to look backwards. It is our capital. It's our capital city. I believe that we should get them moving in the right direction. And that's part of the $50 million. Now, I wouldn't object if you wanted to make that match 2-to-1, right? So
Thank you for that suggestion.
I don't object, right? And if they don't make the match with new funds, they get nothing.
Again, look, guys, we are in a unique situation here in Indiana where we have a massive supermajority of allegedly Republican legislators. So why are our gas taxes so high? Why are our NIPSCO rates so high? We're supposed to be for limited government, but yet tax burden is incredible. And look, the whole SB1 thing with the income tax and the property tax and all, I don't know about you, but I haven't seen any relief for me as a taxpayer. I mean, our property taxes didn't suddenly plummet because this bill was signed, but yet our counties and cities are saying, well, we're now limited funding, etc. So that aside, it is completely unacceptable. If you are watching this and you are behind the account of this Gertrude McGillicuddy person, do better. Like, really stop and think about what you're doing. You're on the internet attacking someone because they put something on the internet. Like, think about how dumb you are. I know it's hard. I know it can be difficult to embrace reality sometimes, but reality is you're hiding behind a fake profile talking about someone using filters on photos, calling people ugly. Like, I have my ideas about who it is, but I don't have any proof. You guys can draw your own assumptions. I find it interesting that the timing, just saying, you guys, by all means, do your own research, look into things. If I have an update for you about the other stuff, the letter and the like I said, I think I know what happened, but I don't want to enhance any theories that are wrong. I have my beliefs. I'm going to hold off and see if hopefully we can get an actual answer. That'd be nice because it's a bad look. What it looks like, I'm sure this didn't happen. What it looks like is a form letter that you just take the name out and put your, family members' names in. I'm sure that's not what it is because my wife wrote a spouse letter when I ran for office, and it was just her, and she wrote it out, and we sent it out. I don't think that that's what happened. I don't think that it's a form letter, put it that way. But the look is bad. It's really, really bad. Everybody from both sides, all sides, whatever, stop even like talking about people's appearance. People can look at social media and they can meet somebody in real life and they can realize, yeah, that's got some filters on it. Yeah. Maybe not all, but the vast majority of women do that shit, guys. I hate to tell you, I hate to break it to you. I know I'm the bearer of bad news here, but I know people personally who have been catfished by people who look nothing like their online. It happened to me once. Yeah. Looked nothing like their online persona to the level of like completely different age, different, like everything. And it was like, oh, so yes, it sucks. That's not what's going on here. She doesn't want to date you. She's married. Juanita Haney has a husband who's a damn good commissioner. Again, in my opinion, the only one who gives a damn about our freedoms, in my opinion, but that's a whole other story. Please, for the love of all that's holy, vote in the primary. Please. And however you vote, I'm not here to tell you to vote for or against or with or any of that. You vote for whoever you believe will represent you the best. Okay, and just so everyone knows that I really do, guys, I do try my best to give you guys as much information as possible, both positive and negative. I looked up my state rep's voting record on guns in particular, right? And he has done some good things. He was a co-sponsor of the bill that limited municipalities' ability to impose restrictions on shooting ranges, which, hell yeah, expands the Indiana Crime Guns Task Force to include Lake County. Authorized teachers to keep firearms on their persons, preferably. I'd rather not see it in a desk drawer where someone can get to it, but in classrooms is the point. Prohibits and criminalizes machine gun conversion devices. No, in my opinion, machine guns are just as much a part of the Second Amendment as semi-automatic. You guys can agree or disagree. I don't care. That's my opinion. So he voted yes to prohibit and criminalize. I think they were talking about the little Glock switches. It doesn't matter. I don't care. In my opinion, that's no different than, being able to have an M60, and I'm in favor of everybody having an M60 personally. Learn how to use it. Expands the stand your ground laws. He voted yes in favor of that. Authorizes firearm training for teachers and school staff. Yes, in favor of that. Authorizes individuals with a protective order to carry a handgun without a license. I'd have to read more about that, but here's the thing. He has voted for some stuff that I wholeheartedly agree with. He has voted for some stuff that I wholeheartedly disagree with. Now, that said, I've looked at his campaign donations, and it's concerning. There are a lot, like 300 grand, I think it was his account. And the vast majority of that doesn't come, some does, but the vast majority of it doesn't come from citizens. It comes from various large corporations, energy and others. So please do your research. Look into both candidates, decide who best represents you, and vote. But this whole social media nonsense, attacking people's appearance and saying they don't look like their picture, guys, I hate to inform you, but that's kind of a woman thing. Especially a little touch up here and there, a little smooth, a little where they do all kinds of stuff with Photoshop. I'm learning how to use graphic editors. I couldn't do half the stuff these women do to make themselves look better. Like, if they could use the power for good, kind of thing. But it's perfectly valid. It's a thing, man. Like, really, guys, really, that's your big reveal. That's your whatever. Either way, that's the update from LaPorte County here. And there are a few races that are turning really, really contentious. But State Rep District 20, I'd say, is probably the biggest right now. And it's just, I'll tell you, this whole letter thing, the timing is really bad for this mistake. It's really bad. I don't know if it's enough to cost an election, but if it was the general, it probably would be enough to flip. But in the primary, it just depends on voter turnout, guys. So far, it's been decent. My understanding is we've got more than, at least so far, with the early voting. Numbers are higher. Now, granted, we actually have people pulling Democrat ballots this time. Thank God. So, yes, I don't care your party, but vote for the party that you're a part of. If you believe in the Democrat platform and you vote Democrat, go pull a Democrat ballot. If you believe in the Republican platform and you voted Republican, go pull a Republican ballot. But That's where change happens, is primary, both parties. That's going to be, the primary is so huge. People, I didn't understand it for many, many years, exactly how important the primary was. But that's it for today. If I have more updates on this situation, I will attempt to amend and bring you guys up to speed. We'll see. Hopefully she will email me and explain exactly what happened. Like I said, I have my suspicions, I have my thoughts, but we shall see. That's it. God bless you. God bless Indiana, and God bless the United States of America. I hope you have a wonderful evening, and we'll talk to you again soon.